permit me, just indulge me a bit, you also have the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nyesom Wike, CON. Your Excellency, we have the Chief of Naval Staff is represented. We have, my Lord, the Administrator of the National Judicial Institute, my Lord Joseph Adejimo, OFR. Your Excellency, we also have former administrators who have given attention to this program, and they are here to support to its success. They are all here. You may wish to give them a round of applause. Your Excellency, we also have the bar, which forms the judiciary, as well. We have the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, who is ably represented by Dr. Mobolaji Ojibara. We also have, my Lord, in support of Your Excellency, the Inspector General of Police, who is ably represented by AIG Emmanuel Aino. We have the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Mr. Sylvester Ndidi Nwakuche. I'm sure he's represented as well. To abridge further on this program, Your Excellency, we have distinguished heads of ministries, departments, and agencies that are working in collaboration with us in the justice sector. They are all seated and are arrayed before Your Excellency. And to ensure to the success of this activity, we have esteemed moderators and presenters of the various papers that will be discussed at this conference before Your Excellency. And without further ado, the members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm are well represented, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, it is my pleasure at this time now to humbly invite my Lord, the Administrator of the National Judicial Institute, my Lord Joseph Adejimo, OFR, for the welcome address. My Lord, the Administrator.
Your Excellency, sir, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, His Excellency, the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by distinguished Senator Adegbomire, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, ably represented by Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, all other members of the National Assembly here present, honorable members of the various ministries. My Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Chairman, Board of Governors of the National Judicial Institute, His Lordship Honorable Justice K.M.O. Kekereekun, GCON, FNJI, former Chief Justice of Nigeria here present, my Lord, the Chairman, Education Committee of the Board of Governors of the Institute, Honorable Justice John Inyangokoro, CFR, JSC, and Honorable Justices of the Supreme Court here present. My Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice M.B. Dongban Mensen, CFR, FNJI, former President, Court of Appeal, Justices of the Court of Appeal, and Justices of Court of Appeal, serving and retired here present. My Lords, heads of various courts, judges, and caddies of various jurisdictions here present. The Honorable Attorney General of the Federation in absentia, Prince Lateef, Jakwandi SCN, FNJI, my Lord, please, my Lord the CJM, I will apply to depend on the existing protocol, how the protocol has said, because of time. All other protocols are taken care of. At this juncture, it is my honor and privilege to invite His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Chairman Board of Governors of the NGI, for his address. My Lord, the CGN, sir. Yeah.
My Lord, you want to shorten it? You want to shorten it? Yes.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. I have a very long list of protocol here, and I'm aware of the time constraints. So all other protocols duly observed. It is an immense honor and privilege to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the 2025 All Nigeria Judges Conference. Today we gather not merely to reflect on our responsibilities as custodians of justice, but to chart a decisive course towards a judiciary that embodies integrity, resilience, and unwavering public confidence. A special and respectful welcome goes to His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Your Excellency, we are truly grateful for your presence despite your demanding schedule, and we deeply appreciate your abiding commitment to the cause of justice in our dear nation. This conference, convened biennially by the National Judicial Institute, is not just a tradition of necessity. It provides an invaluable platform for introspection, collaboration, and the adoption of strategic resolutions that propel our judiciary forward. Here, brother judges engage meaningfully with one another, strengthen institutional ethics, and reaffirm the enduring commitment to dispense justice with precision, fairness, and accessibility. The theme of this year's conference, Building a Confident Judiciary, could not be more timely. At this pivotal moment in our nation's judicial landscape, we must confront the realities that threaten the very foundation of public trust in our system. The judiciary occupies a unique position as the guardian of democratic stability, and it is upon us to safeguard that trust through principled and impartial adjudication. Challenges are inevitable, but they are not insurmountable. It is no exaggeration to state that the survival of Nigeria's democracy has often hinged on the steadfastness of the judiciary. Our pronouncements at critical junctures in our history have preserved constitutional order and upheld the democratic will of the people. Yet, at this stage, we must go further. Beyond merely defending democracy, we must deepen it by ensuring that justice is not only done, but manifestly seen to be done in every courtroom, across every jurisdiction, and in every cause. The Nigerian public, our ultimate constituency, expect and deserve nothing less. Their perception of our work is shaped not only by the outcome of cases, but also by the processes we adopt, the pace at which we deliver justice, and the comportment we display as judicial officers. It is no secret that segments of the public hold a critical perception of the judiciary. There exists a widespread notion that our processes are slow, inefficient, and sometimes vulnerable to external influences. We must confront this perception head-on, not with rhetoric, but with deliberate and demonstrable action that restores confidence in our courts. A judiciary that commands respect must be unwavering in upholding independence, firm in strengthening ethical standards, and resolute in eliminating inefficiencies in court administration. We must address the persistent issues of outdated infrastructure, intellectual complacency, and corruption challenges that have hindered our efficiency and undermined public trust. To build a confident judiciary, we must rise above these obstacles and ensure that justice is dispensed with integrity, impartiality, and transparency. We must also acknowledge a difficult but undeniable truth. The judiciary continues to operate within a democratic framework where financial dependence on the executive persists. Without genuine financial autonomy, judicial independence remains fragile. True independence is the bedrock of justice. Where it is absent, the temple of justice trembles. Independence is not a privilege. It is a moral and constitutional obligation that guarantees fairness and equality before the law. On the persistent issue of corruption, we can no longer afford to regard our institution as beyond scrutiny. We must admit with candor that there are some within our ranks who have undermined the integrity of the bench. This must change. The National Judicial Council is being strengthened and repositioned to execute its constitutional mandate with greater vigor, efficiency, and accountability. We must be the example we seek to inspire. The robe we wear must never be a cloak for impropriety, but a symbol of incorruptible honor. With collective will, renewed commitment, and divine guidance, we shall succeed in restoring the dignity of our noble profession. In recent times, there has been an unsettling trend of rushing to the media to castigate judges over their decisions, or at times to preempt the outcome of a case, often without a proper understanding of the law or the facts of the case. This development, if left unchecked, poses a grave danger to the administration of justice. The courtroom, not the media space, remains the lawful forum for ventilating grievances. Judicial officers do not speak outside their judgments. They are bound by restraint, guided by evidence, and led by conscience. When substantiated allegations are peddled, they corrode public confidence and imperil the sanctity of the bench. I must emphasize that while judges welcome constructive criticism grounded in reason and respect, they must not be deterred from performing their sacred duties by uninformed commentary or orchestrated attacks. A judiciary that fears public opinion more than the dictates of the law ceases to be the guardian of justice. We therefore reaffirm that our fidelity lies not in applause or approval, but in the solemn oath we have taken to uphold the Constitution and dispense justice without fear or favor. This conference, therefore, provides us with an invaluable opportunity to reflect, to strategize, and to commit to reforms that are not cosmetic but fundamental. Our deliberations must move beyond merely identifying challenges. They must yield actionable solutions that enhance efficiency, elevate ethical standards, and strengthen the judiciary as an institution of unshakable integrity. The judiciary must not merely adapt to change, it must lead it, defining justice for our times and for generations to come. As judicial officers, our duty is solemn and sacred. We must rise above technicalities that obstruct substantial justice, ensuring that our decisions reflect fairness and equity. Let our courts be sanctuaries of truth, not labyrinths of technicality. Let our judgments speak not just to the letter of the law, but to its spirit, anchored in conscience, compassion, and courage. The Nigerian judiciary must be remembered not for rigid adherence to formality, but for its unwavering dedication to the substance of justice and the protection of the rule of law. Together with dedication and purpose, we will build a judiciary that our citizens trust, respect, and depend upon. A judiciary that stands not in fear of criticism, but in strength of its own convictions. A judiciary that history will remember as the stabilizing pillar of our democracy and the guardian of our nation's moral conscience. Once again, we extend our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for graciously accepting our invitation to declare this conference open. We also recognize and deeply appreciate the presence of the President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, ably represented, the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, ably represented, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Olasunkami Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, ably represented, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Chief Nyesom Wike, CON, who is here in person, and other honorable members and dignitaries here present. I also wish to appreciate the Chairman of the Education Committee of the Board of Governors of the National Judicial Institute, Honorable Justice John Inyangokoro, CFR GSC, and all members of the committee for their steadfast dedication to the advancement of continuing legal judicial education. I equally appreciate all heads of court here present for your continued support for the activities of the Institute. Let me also appreciate and commend the Administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Honorable Justice B.A. Adejumo, OFR, and his team for the seamless organization of this conference and for their relentless commitment to the achievement of the Institute's mandate and objectives. Finally, I recognize and appreciate all our distinguished invited guests, moderators, resource persons, and members of the Fourth Estate of the realm. To all delegates, I trust that this conference will inspire meaningful dialogue, foster strategic resolutions, and reaffirm our enduring commitment to the cause of justice. May our deliberations be insightful, impactful, and instrumental in shaping the future of the Nigerian judiciary. My lords, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to deliver his opening address and officially declare open the 2025 All Nigeria Judges Conference. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Please be seated. Honorable Justice Olatokunbo Kekere-Ekun, the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Chairman of Nigeria Judicial Council. All other protocols observed before I don't want to resurrect Lateef Jakande.
It is with profound, deep sense of honor and deep respect that I address you this morning at the opening ceremony of the 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Courts. The Assembly is not merely a biennial tradition. It is an extraordinary convocation of men and women upon whose wisdom, courage, and integrity rests the stability of our democracy. The protection of our Constitution, the preservation of the rights and liberty of every Nigerian. You are the one. Whenever Nigeria has faced moments of uncertainty, history has recorded that the judiciary stood firm as the stabilizing force of our national life. It is through the courage of the judges and their judicial pronouncements that tyranny has been restrained, constitutional order preserved, and the voice of justice amplified above the noise of division and despair. For this enduring role, I stand on behalf of the government and the good people of our country our deepest gratitude and abiding respect. The theme of this year's conference, Building a Confident Judiciary, could not be more fitting. Confidence is the lifeblood of justice. A judgment may be grounded in law and delivered with clarity, but unless the public perceives it to be fair, impartial, and untainted, its moral authority is diminished. The confidence of the people is therefore not an abstract aspiration. It is a living measure of the judiciary's legitimacy and the true currency of justice. We must acknowledge with candor that public perception of the judicial process has not always been favorable. Citizens have expressed frustration at delays, concerns about integrity, and anxiety over access to justice. These perceptions, whether wholly justified or not, cannot be ignored. They call upon us to reflect, to reform, and to restore. For ultimately, justice does not exist for the bench or the bar. It exists for the people. Their faith in judicial process is the foundation of our national stability. In this regard, I wish to reaffirm with the clarity and conviction the unwavering commitment of my administration to support the judiciary in fulfilling its constitutional mandate. The judiciary does not exist in isolation. It functions within a larger democratic framework which all three arms of government must work in synergy with the mutual respect and shared responsibility to the Nigerian people. The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary must remain united by purpose, even when separated by function. My administration believes that a judiciary that is strong in capacity, efficient in process, and uncompromising in integrity is not merely desirable, it is indispensable to the survival of our democracy and prosperity of our nation. We cannot build a just society without a fearless and functional judiciary. In this period, we have resolved to provide institutional and material support that will enable our courts to perform their duties with dignity, confidence, and efficiency. Support must be tangible, not ceremonial, and I mean it. It must translate into improved working conditions, modern infrastructure, and well-equipped courtrooms where justice is dispensed promptly and transparently. Our court must no longer be places where cases languished for years. They must become beacons of efficiency, where disputes are resolved swiftly and where litigants depart with renewed confidence in the rule of law. The modernization of judicial infrastructure remains a central priority. Technology is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. The digitization of our court process, the adoption of integrated cases management system, and the provision of secured and reliable judicial facilities will receive sustained attention from this administration. A digital, transparent judiciary will not only improve efficiency, but also deepen accountability and public trust. We should not leave any of our courts behind in this transformation. Yet, bricks and mortar, or even digital screens, do not make justice. The true strength of the judiciary lies in the men and women who interpret the law and give life to its spirit. Our judges are the living custodian of justice. The caliber of their work defines the moral strength of the Republic. This is why judicial welfare, training, and independence are not privileges, they are imperatives. We will continue to support the National Judicial Institute as the leading hub for judicial education, comparative study, and professional development. Continuous learning and intellectual renewal must remain the hallmark of the bench. The law evolves daily, and so too must those who interpret and apply it. We must ensure that our judges are not only equipped to interpret the law in contemporary times, but also empowered to shape it in accordance with constitutional values. However, let us be clear, no amount of reform can succeed if integrity is compromised. Justice must never be for sale. The bench must never become a sanctuary for compromise. Corruption in any form or any arm of government weakens the nation, but corruption in judiciary destroys it to the core. When justice is compromised, government loses its integrity and democracy loses its foundation. With utmost seriousness, my administration stands ready to support every effort by the judiciary to preserve its dignity and eliminate misconduct. This is not a task for the National Judicial Council alone. It is a collective duty that rests on every judicial officer. Discipline within the judiciary must be firm, transparent, and consistent. Only a judiciary that cleanses itself can command the moral authority to cleanse our society. My lords, as you deliberate in the coming days, I want you to remember that the judiciary is not an end in itself. It is an instrument of justice for the people. Its moral power flows merely from the Constitution, but from the trust and confidence that ordinary citizens repose in it. A courageous, transparent, and principled judiciary is the greatest guarantee of freedom. A slow, compromised, or disconnected judiciary is the greatest threat. This is why I urge you, in your discussions, to be bold and practical. Go beyond agonizing old challenges and commit to actionable solutions. Ask the difficult questions on how we reduce the backlog of cases. How do we strengthen discipline within the ranks? How do we make justice more affordable and accessible to the poor, the weak, and the voiceless? Above all, how do we build a judiciary that truly remains the last hope of the common man? Not just interpreters of the law, but guardians of Nigeria's moral conscience and architects. You are the architects of our democratic destiny. You hold in your hands the power to shape the moral compass of our republic, to ensure that no citizen is too weak to be heard, and no authority is too powerful to be restrained by law. The task is weighty, but it's noble. And I assure you that this administration will continue to stand by you, listen to you, and support you in fulfilling this sacred responsibility. Let me conclude by reminding us that the story of our democracy is still being written. Each fair judgment strengthens the republic. Each courageous ruling preserves its soul. Let us therefore resolve that the chapter written in our time will be remembered for integrity, courage, and fidelity to the rule of law. It is my honor, therefore, and a great privilege to declare open the 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Courts. May your deliberation be fruitful, your resolutions transformative, and may the judiciary of Nigeria continue to stand at the conscience of our nation and the guardians of our democracy. May God bless the Nigerian judiciary, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you all.
National anthem, please. My Lord, the former Chief Justices, please, ushers, guide their lordships with the Justice of the Supreme Court this way.